things come. I feel like the attention and, whatever that is, I don't want to say I get used to it, but to an extent, like you do, and you just accept that's how it's going to be. People are going to criticize you. People are going to praise you, no matter what it is. When you're playing on this level and you have this type of spotlight, whether it's me, whether it's any professional athlete that's at the top of their game, that's just how it's going to be. So
she walked into TD Garden like it was personal, because it was. The last time Caitlin Clark faced the Connecticut Sun, they didn't just play hard, they targeted her. An eye poke from J.C. Sheldon, a body check from Marina Mabry.
Eye poke. Owie.
That's what Clark didn't like. When Mabry came in with a bump.
But let me say this, timeout.
But this time, Caitlin Clark didn't just respond. She made WNBA history. 3 records broken, 1 brutal message.
I think you just continue to build on what you want to get better at. And I think that's probably the greatest challenge at times is, everybody else has expectations of you, but at the end of the day, like, there's no higher expectation than what I have of myself.
And in the final 5 minutes, she outscored the entire team. This wasn't just a game, this was war. Let's rewind. June 17th.
Tonight, the Fever welcome in the Connecticut Sun with Commissioner's Cup title hopes on the line.
Feeling good, big one for us after a good win. Got to come out and play with a lot of energy again. Should be a great crowd, so it's going to be fun.
Caitlin Clark faces the Connecticut Sun. It should have been a regular game. Instead, it turns ugly. J.C. Sheldon swipes Clark in the eye. Marina Mabry follows up with a hard body check. And the refs, they let it happen.
What really got this escalated, so that was called a flagrant. Those 2 were technicals. Charles got a technical, and then Mabry for what we thought should have been
technical fouls, but no ejections. Clark didn't fight back. She took it, but she never forgot. So when Indiana walked into TD Garden for the rematch, Clark wasn't just there to play. She came for revenge. And this time, she had backup. TD Garden might be home to the Celtics, but on this night, it belonged to Fever fans. Over 19,000 packed the building, and they made sure the Connecticut Sun felt it. This wasn't just another game, it was a hostile takeover, and the Fever were ready. Sophie Cunningham stepped into her enforcer role.
Ari McDonald. What a pickup she has been. Came in as a injury replacement player, and there's Sophie Cunningham.
Kelsey Mitchell lit it up with 20 points.
On the rookie out of France, and didn't take long for Indiana to strike back.
It had not even a shot at getting back and getting in front of her in transition. And how about taking the contact?
Natasha Howard dominated inside with 18 points and 13 rebounds.
High hedge on the ball screen on Clark.
Inside perfectly.
One thing you know about Tina Charles, she has every shot in her arsenal.
Now Sheldon, the height disadvantage against Howard.
Yeah, good recognition.
Even Aaliyah Boston, despite a tough shooting night, made her presence felt with rebounds and crisp passes.
Another pass inside. Good job by Mitchell to gather.
Back to that facilitation of Aaliyah Boston right here. She is reading the cutters, fakes the handoff, and good read by Kelsey Mitchell.
But all of it started with Clark. She ran the floor like a general, behind the back passes. No look dishes, total control.
Clark off glass.
Good heavy by Clark. She froze the defense. 0.5 basketball, keeping the ball moving in 0.5 seconds.
And while fans were focused on the game, Clark was quietly chasing history. Her shooting? Rough. 4 of 14 from the field, just 1 of 7 from deep. But her impact? Unmatched.
Play against her and learn from her.
Passing the torch to some of the great young talent. That is the first points for Caitlin Clark in the second half.
Right here, Clark comes off of the screen and just eyes the bucket, but I like the pull-up.
She broke 3 WNBA records in one night. First, she became the fastest player in league history to reach 450 assists. She did it in just 53 games. The previous record, 62. She beat it by 9 full games. Second, she became the fastest to hit 150 three-pointers. Faster than anyone, ever. And third, she extended her streak to 40 straight games with 5 or more assists. That's the longest streak the league has ever seen. That's not luck. That's greatness.
Caitlin Clark scored 32 points and assisted on 22 more Saturday, marking her 9th career game with 50 points scored or assisted on, already the second most in WNBA history.
Stop playing with this girl. She only played 45 games and she's 1 away from tying the WNBA record. This is her 2nd season. Now, I don't like the fact that she be getting woke because she don't want all these. You get a girl who kind of cute. She's still feminine. She's not black. She got a great attitude. You don't got to be ghetto and flashy and doing all that. She's everything that they said that you could not be in order to be successful. Her return game peaked at 2.8 million viewers on ABC, one of the highest ever. The Fever's franchise value jumped from 900 million to 340 million. Oh my God. If somebody say they need to get paid like the men, Caitlin Clark need to get paid like the men.
But what happened in the final 5 minutes? That was different. That's where Clark flipped the switch. With the Fever clinging to a small lead, she exploded, drive, dish, score. And by the end, she had outscored the entire Connecticut Sun by herself. In the final 5 minutes, they tried to stop her. They couldn't. No trash talk, no fouls, just dominance. Caitlin Clark didn't need to say anything. The scoreboard did the talking. But just when it seemed perfect, everything changed. Less than a minute on the clock. Clark made a sharp pass to Mitchell. Then she grabbed her right leg, the same leg that's been bothering her.
Because I just finished watching the Indiana Fever versus Connecticut Sun game, and I swear every time these two teams go up against one another, something happens, and it's honestly never good. It's never good, and of course the biggest story of the night is the story that Caitlin Clark seems to have re-injured her groin. So I'm just going to show you guys the clip. So as you guys can see here, she is dribbling down, she plants her foot, she passes the ball to Kelsey Mitchell on the back door, and then when she is running back on the other end of the court, it seems like she's grabbing her groin area. Now it also seems like she's grabbing her right groin area, and her last groin injury was supposedly on the left side.
The groin injury. She walked to the bench slowly. No celebration, no smile. She buried her face in a towel. And the camera caught the tears. Caitlin Clark was in pain, not just physically, emotionally, because just days from now, All-Star Weekend is coming. In Indiana, she's the team captain. She's in the three-point contest. She's the star of the weekend. Or at least she was supposed to be. Now everything is uncertain. Coach Stephanie White said she felt something in her groin. We'll get it evaluated. That's all we know.
No update. Just felt a little something in her groin, so we'll get it evaluated and see what happens from there.
And that's not enough. Without Clark, the Fever lose more than a player. They lose their identity. And the league loses its biggest draw, right when it needs her the most. 3 records, 1 win, 1 injury. That's the roller coaster of pro sports. If you support Caitlin Clark, drop a comment wishing her a full recovery. Like this video. Subscribe for more deep dives like this. Because one thing is clear, her story, it's just getting started.
And it looked like Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White definitely had a situation where they was in a heated exchange right before halftime. Guys, word on the street is that Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White exchanged words going into halftime of this Atlanta Dream game. Now, I'm here to tell you, no footage has emerged of the altercation, but I'm pretty sure within a couple hours it's going to be roaming somewhere out there that this exchange happened.
Caitlin Clark snaps at her coach on live TV? Yes, it happened. And the entire basketball world is talking about it. But here's what you haven't seen. This wasn't just a sideline argument. It was a breaking point, one that could tear the Indiana Fever apart from the inside.
Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White were having a heated discussion at halftime. Word in the street is Caitlin Clark told White to sit Kelsey Mitchell and Howard because they don't pass. Could be true. Caitlin went to tie her shoe. Like, that is something that I noticed. Like, Caitlin literally, when Natasha Howard had the ball, she didn't even look. She was basically walking back on defense. She essentially walked back on defense every time Natasha Howard had the ball.
And once you hear what really led up to that moment, you'll realize it's much worse than anyone thought. The Indiana Fever are not okay. On the surface, it looks like a struggling team with young talent trying to figure things out. But behind the scenes, it's chaos.
Look, Caitlin Clark and Stephanie White clearly like and respect one another, right? But that doesn't mean they always see eye to eye. And I am beginning to suspect more and more that there's a bit of a divide between the way that they see the game and the way that they think the Indiana Fever should play. You can just hear what they have to say and connect the dots a little bit.
At the center of it all, Caitlin Clark, the biggest name in women's basketball, the one every fan came to see, the one who's breaking records, selling out arenas, and apparently clashing with her own coach.
Listen, man, this Caitlin Clark versus Stephanie White thing could turn ugly, and it could turn ugly fast, y'all. I have to be straight up with y'all. Stephanie White wants to play the polar opposite way that Caitlin Clark wants to play. The Indiana Fever got a big win yesterday, and it was a tale of two halves. The first half, the Indiana Fever played that Stephanie White style, that grinded out, ugly, puke basketball. Puke basketball in the first half. The second half, Caitlin Clark, even though she was making shots, went full throttle, pedal to the metal, and was running. She was just flat out running, pushing the tempo. And what do? We go put up almost 100 points. We go score 99. And I'm hearing about this altercation in the tunnel or around halftime. And if it happened, I'm glad it happened. And it needs to continue to happen. And Caitlin Clark needs to continue to put her foot on their neck because this is her team.
That's right. Multiple reports confirm that Clark and Fever head coach Stephanie White had a heated halftime argument, caught on camera, seen by thousands, and now going viral. Sources say Clark was furious, tired of being ignored by teammates who refused to pass her the ball, and she let the coach know it.
It was only a matter of time, bro, that Caitlin Clark was going to obviously have words with Stephanie White. We noted that she's been running this motion offense, and Caitlin Clark cannot get in the rhythm. A lot of people thinking Caitlin Clark hurt. I don't believe she's hurt. I believe Caitlin Clark cannot simply get into rhythm. That's why she has not been shooting very well. And I was one of the first people to tell y'all this was going to happen. Told y'all about a week ago, Caitlin Clark was going to come back. And if nothing is going to change, we're going to see the same Caitlin Clark we've seen right before injury.
According to eyewitnesses, she even told White to bench those players. Specifically, Kelsey Mitchell, Natasha Howard, veterans who repeatedly looked Clark off mid-possession, and it wasn't subtle.
All right, so let's take a look at the clip here. People talking about body language, people talking about Caitlin is fed up. They're talking about how Howard is just selfish with the ball. Let's just take a look at it, man. So she dumps it down. Watch Caitlin's shoulders here. She kind of like, Then she goes to tie her shoes as Howard goes to work and misses the layup, man. Oh, my goodness. Now, tying your shoes is kind of diabolical. Now, I've seen it before where players take a little time to kind of tie their shoes if they're out of the play and they know they're not going to get the ball in it or something like that. But, yeah.
Clark's body language was loud. She walked back on defense, tied her shoes during active plays, and refused to make eye contact when certain teammates had the ball. This wasn't just frustration, this was a silent protest. One moment said it all, end of the third quarter. Natasha Howard has the ball. Caitlin Clark is wide open. Howard looks her off again and runs straight into traffic. Wastes the entire possession.
And by the way, if you guys didn't see Natasha Howard looked off Caitlin Clark to end the third quarter. She looked off Caitlin Clark to end the third quarter in what was just incredibly dumb play. And again, I do want to apologize about the size. Of these clips. If I make the clips any bigger, I will get copyright claims. If you're wondering why I'm not doing any breakdowns and why people aren't doing that, they're going to get copyright claims. So, if you didn't see here, Natasha Howard looks off Caitlin Clark to run to nowhere. Takes 1, 2, 3, 4, about 5 steps, does the cha-cha slide, and gets it to Caitlin Clark with 3 seconds to go, and she has to shoot a tough step back.
Moments later, Howard even blocked her own teammate Clark at the rim. Let me say that again. Blocked her own teammate. That's not basketball. That's disrespect. So where was Coach Stephanie White? Nowhere. Silent. Letting it happen. The truth is, this has been building for weeks because the Fever are running 2 different offenses on the same court. One is Caitlin Clark's system, modern, fast-paced, unselfish, built on ball movement and IQ.
You got to understand something, Stephanie White. You could have stayed in Connecticut. Caitlin Clark didn't go to Connecticut and join your program. You came where she was. Natasha Howard came where she was. She did not go join y'all. So don't try to come over here and take away everything that she does well and try to get her to blend into what y'all do. The fans have spoke. This Stephanie White versus Caitlin Clark thing can turn very nasty, and let's really see which way do you think the organization is gonna go. You gotta remember, Kelly Crosskoff and Amber Cox, they out here trying to sell the Indiana Fever as Apple. Apple, man, y'all ain't no goddamn app. Y'all not even Boost Mobile. You do realize this franchise didn't make the playoffs for over 10 years until Caitlin Clark got there. You do realize Kelsey Mitchell was winning like 6 games a year as a pro. She was winning like 6 games a year. This ain't no Apple. This ain't no Apple. Caitlin Clark is the Apple.
The other, ISO plays. Hero Ball, a system that relies on contested mid-range shots and chaos. And it's not working. The Fever had a game recently where everything clicked. Clark took over in the second half even though her shot wasn't falling. She kept pushing the tempo, found open teammates, made elite-level reads. Within 6 minutes, a 4-point lead became a 17-point blowout. The team looked unstoppable. That wasn't luck, that was Caitlin Clark. But instead of committing to that style, Coach White keeps trying to balance both systems.
It was about a little under like 6.5 minutes in this game where Clark gets angry. She gets normally like visibly pumped up, and she just starts like it's like there's like a switch that flipped at this moment. She just started attacking like relentlessly, driving into the lane, taking fouls, taking hard shots, getting rejected, doesn't matter. She's pushing pace, she's in your face, she's getting aggressive, and that's opening up everything else. And while her shot wasn't falling tonight, she had some good open looks.
And it's killing the team's chemistry. Let's be honest, Caitlin Clark isn't the problem. She's the only thing holding this team together. She's doing everything she can, passing, rebounding, defending, while teammates walk around, hold the ball, and freeze her out. And it's not just effort, it's culture. Take Kelsey Mitchell. Last season, she sprinted off the ball, made herself available, attacked the rim. This season, she walks it. No cuts, no spacing, no urgency. That's not a coincidence. That's a statement. Some of these players are more focused on stat padding than winning. And the coaching staff is too afraid to pick a side. Well, Clark picked one. She's not here for drama. She's not here to be everyone's friend. She's here to win. And when she snapped at Stephanie White, she wasn't lashing out. She was demanding accountability. Because Clark knows what winning looks like. She's done it her whole life. And this system, it's not going to work. That sideline blow-up wasn't the story. It was the symptom. Behind the scenes, this team is splintering. Players like Sophie Cunningham, they get it. They run. They space. They trust Clark to lead.
Part of that was also Sophie Cunningham. So Sophie Cunningham tonight, like most importantly, was 4 for 5 from 3, had 10 rebounds, so a double-double on the night and 16 points total. And she also had a blocked shot. So she was all over the floor. She was getting lots of rebounds, 2 of them offensive, and really making a huge impact in being that set 3-point shooter to also supplement the offense, which Hull hasn't been as successful with, or other players haven't been as successful with consistently, including Clark. And so to have another player that can kind of pick up that slack and start to rein in those threes so we can match the Atlanta Dream, who were, crushing it on 3-pointers. I think between just Jordan Canada and Ryan Howard, they had 10 on their own. So we needed someone to match that, and Sophie was that player tonight, getting hype and out there, getting the crowd hype too. So huge impact from Sophie tonight. Really, the comments about being pissed off about the previous game came to fruition here.
But others, they're stuck in the past, refusing to adapt, refusing to move without the ball, and refusing to follow Caitlin's lead. So now Indiana has a decision to make. Either they build around Caitlin Clark, or they keep juggling egos, sacrificing chemistry, and wasting one of the greatest basketball minds this game has ever seen. Because Caitlin isn't just a scorer, she's a system. When she runs the show, the Fever win. When they ignore her, chaos takes over. You can see it in the stats. You can see it in the flow of the game. And now, you can see it on live TV. That viral moment, that argument, that was the result of months of dysfunction. And Clark finally had enough. She didn't explode because she's immature. She exploded because no one else would say it out loud. This team is broken, the system is broken, and it's time to fix it. So, where do the Fever go from here? If they're smart, they rally around their star. They give her the reins. They let her lead. Because Caitlin Clark isn't the problem. She's the solution. Drop a 100% in the comments if you're riding with Clark. Smash that like button if you've seen enough of the drama. And subscribe for more breakdowns just like this. Because the Fever might be in trouble. But Caitlin Clark, she's just getting started.